How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be going over your Chapter 11 tutorial or Chapter 11 Tutorial 1 assignment, which is deriving different configurations based off of a design table. So the first step that you're going to do is you have to make the base of this part. So you can see that the hub diameter is 400 millimeters. So you just go 400. And then your bore diameter is 350. Just do that. Since I did everything from the origin, everything is already constrained. You're going to extrude this up. And you can see that the total depth of this part is 300. 300. It's going to come like this. And now we need to make the flange at the top of this part. So we're going to do a sketch. This top portion, Control 8 to be normal to the sketch that you want. And a circle centered at the origin. And then you're just going to go out. And the flange diameter right here is 550 for the default version. 550. And I'm going to convert this outside of this original cylinder just so that it doesn't make another dimension that I don't need. So convert that. And now we have a line here, a line here. And now we're going to extrude. So in the drawing on page 571, it says that the height of this flange is 35 millimeters. So we have 35. But it is extruding in the positive K direction. And we do not want that. We want it to go downwards because that would change the overall height of this to be 350, and we want it to stay at 300. So we're going to click these little arrows, and it's just going to flip that in the opposite direction. So now our height is going to stay at 300, and we still have that flange of 350, or that of 35. Check. So now we have that, and if you want to check, you go to Tools, Evaluate, Measure, and then you're going to select this top face, bottom face, and you can see that the distance is still 300, just like we want. So now we need to go and make the holes that are on the top of this flange. So we're going to sketch, and then Control 8 so that we're normal to our sketch plane. And then we're going to make a circle with diameter of 35. And this bar, like to make sure that it is vertical to this plane so that it can't move. Just constrain the 2 points, make it vertical. And now we need to constrain this so that it sits on the same diameter, or sits on the same diameter. And we're going to use this again for the rest of our holes. So we're going to make a circle. And we are going to type this as 470. And this is just a regular circle, but we don't want that. So we're going to click on this circle and say it's for construction. And now it's going to give you this perforated line. So you can't extrude from this since it's just for construction, but we are going to constrain this circle to it. So we're going to add the relation, the center point to this arc, which is called PCD, right? So now it's constrained. And now we're going to exit this sketch. And we are going to extrude this all the way through this plane, or all the way through this flange, and hit check. And now we're going to do a circular pattern. You're going to select what you want. If you already had it selected, it's going to do it automatically. Now you just have to select what you want it to rotate about. And for this model, it's 12 instances. So here you're going to select 12, and then just go ahead and click check. Now, before we move on, you could do this as you go. You're going to want to rename your dimensions. So I'm going to go back into my sketches, and I'm going to click on each one of my dimensions. So for this 400, we know that it's called the hub diameter dimension. So we're going to call hub dia. And make sure that you don't change anything after the at. Make sure that this at stays there. It's going to be important later. Click check. And you're going to go through and do that for all your dimensions. So for 350, that is your bore diameter. Dia, exit. I'm going to go to this top sketch. This is the flange dia. Check. Exit sketch. And we're going to do it again for these. So we know that this is the hole diameter. So we're going to call it hole dia. This is the PCD. So we're going to go call that PCD. Okay. So now we named all of our important sketch dimensions. Now we're going to go ahead and start making the design table. So you're going to go into Insert, and it's going to bring up all these different features, and you're going to go down to Tables, and then select Design Table. And that's going to bring this up, this little dialog box, and you're just going to hit OK. And then somewhere on your screen, you're going to see this dimensions that's going to want you to import into your new design table. Just click the top one and then Shift and select all of them and hit OK. And it should give you an Excel. It should give you an Excel table like this. Now, what you're gonna do now is different ways that you can do this. I like to select all of this and then just bring it down. And then over here, you're gonna name the different things like it says in the design table. So here, this configuration is going to be 350 bore dia, and then this is just going to change. This is just your different configurations, and you're going to go ahead and insert these numbers as it says in the design or in the design table. So the difference for this, the hub, and wherever, however or whatever order you made your dimensions is how it's going to appear in this design tree. You just have to make sure that you add it in the right, or you have to change the right dimensions to the right configuration. So for this 400 bore dia, where it says 400 bore, we're going to change this to 400, and then here it says 450, 450. And since that this is increasing by 50, these also have to increase by 50, so we have 450, and then 500 for the hub diameters. And the diameter, or the height of this first extrusion, we're going to keep the same. For the flange, it's going to be the same thing. Increase by 50, 600, 650. We're going to keep this the same. We're going to keep the hole diameters the same. And now we're going to change the hole diameter, or not hole diameters, the PCD. So for this PCD, we're going to move it to 520. Again, up by 50. And this one is going to be 570. We don't have to change this. We don't have to change the circular pattern. You keep that there. And then here, 16 and 12. So now we have all of our different dimensions that we want. So now you're just going to click anywhere else in the graphics area. So wherever is actually SolidWorks and not Excel, just going to click here. And it should pop up with this little dialog box right here. And you're just going to click OK. And now you're going to go over to this configuration manager. So if you're here, you're going to go over to this. It has two little boxes. You're going to click on this, and you're going to see your configurations that you've made. Now, what you want to do to see these, you're going to right click, and you're going to say Show Configuration. And so since this was our default is the same as the 350 bore diameter. It's not going to change. Now we're going to right click on 400 bore, Show Configuration. So you see the inside bore changed. The inside bore got wider, The outside bore got wider, and the flange also changed because those are all the dimensions that we changed in the design tree or in the design table. And now same thing for the 450 bore. It's even wider, but the things that we didn't change, like the height, the flange depth, and the holes are all the same. So a very cool way for you to automatically make different configurations, and might come in handy when you start making your parts for your final project, because you won't get it, chances are you won't get it right the first time, and you might need to make different configurations of it. And if you want to try different things in a fast way, this is a nice way to do it.